of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Dolly, can you do the roll?
Supervisor Flaherty,
Here.
Councilman Abbott.
Here.
Councilwoman Cataldi,
Present?
Councilman Cahill.
Here.
Councilwoman Wynn,
Here.
Town Attorney Genesi.
Present.
All right. Sir, are you here for a 662 Galleon?
Yes.
Okay. Want to make sure of that because our next portion is an open to the floor where a speaker is allowed up to 5 minutes. And for those at home, we only have one gentleman in the room, so I know that you're not doing open to the floor. So can I make an assumption we can move on from that agenda
There's
item?
no one rushing the podium.
There you go. Okay, we have 2 sets of minutes to be considered tonight for approval, and I've read them over. I make a motion, we approve the January 6th, 2022 Town Board minutes.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn.
Aye.
And I also make a motion that we approve the January 13th, 2022 workshop minutes.
Second?
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye.
Councilman Cataldi,
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn.
Aye.
And Bill, you did the bills.
I did review the bills submitted by the Director of Finance. I found them all in order and we should pay them.
Second?
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn.
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye. And I reviewed the prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance and make a motion that they be approved.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi.
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Pretty quick, huh, Pat? Or Dolly? All right.
Stay with it.
Yeah. Okay, the next agenda item up, and I just want to make sure I've got this correct, because I know I think it's incorporated both line items into the one resolution. Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
They are,
Yes.
one both one.
So, these are, yeah, because it's just an overlapping of time. It's a resolution, I'm going to, first of all, I'll explain it because I don't think anybody else, well, Patty, do you understand this, to give it a brief explanation?
It's a Stop DWI program where our police department participates in this, and they are refunded money for their efforts. And it's something that we've been participating in for quite a while. They also have a really lovely award ceremony to those who've really performed well. And this is a big effort throughout the county and all police departments.
Yeah. And I asked Deputy Supervisor Cataldi for the explanation, because she is the liaison to the police department, so thank you, Patty. With that being said, I make a motion of the Webster Town Board authorizing intermunicipal agreements and funding for Stop DWI programs. Whereas the town board has the authority pursuant to New York State Town Law to authorize the supervisor to enter the town into an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Monroe for receipt and use of the New York State funds for the 2022 Stop DWI program in the amount of $7,406.96 for DWI patrols and for personnel services. And whereas the term of the Stop DWI program agreement shall be from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022, and whereas the Crackdown Stop DWI began on October 1st, 2021 and ends on September 30th, 2022, with funds to be received in the amount of $4,555 annually, whereas the agreement shall contain such additional terms and conditions as the supervisor deems appropriate, and whereas it is in the public interest to authorize the supervisor to execute these aforesaid agreements on behalf of the town of Webster. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Webster hereby agrees to provide through its police department enhanced anti-DWI services as set forth in the agreement, that this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye.
Councilman Abbott,
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn.
Aye.
You want to take a crack at the next one, explanation, Patty, or? Or, well, you know what?
Not particularly.
Okay. You know what? I think reading this resolution, to authorize the acceptance of the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services grant, hearing the resolution will explain it best. So I make a motion, the Webster Town Board authorizing acceptance of the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services grant. Whereas New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services is in an effort to enhance law enforcement, preparedness, and operational readiness along the borders of the United States, and to advance cooperation, coordination, and operational capabilities between federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies in a joint mission to secure the U.S. borders, has provided a monetary grant to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. And whereas the Monroe County Sheriff's Office is the primary recipient of said grant, and pursuant to the terms of the grant is to administer certain funds to the Webster Police Department and facilitate the use thereof. And whereas the Webster Police Department wishes to accept the grant funding for the year 2022, pursuant to the terms and conditions of its memorandum of understanding with Monroe County. And whereas the town board determines that accepting the grant and grant activities constitute a type 2 action pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.5C, subchapter 26, routine or continuing agency administration and management, not including new programs or major reordering of priorities that may affect environment. And 31, subchapter 31, purchase or sale of furnishings, equipment, or supplies, including surplus government property, other than the following: land, radioactive materials, pesticides, herbicides, or other hazardous materials. And therefore, no further review is needed pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Webster accepts the grant for the year 2020 and 2022 and amends the police operating budget for the year 2022 by appropriating up to $14,000 of grant revenue. And that any and all actions taken by the town supervisor, acting supervisor, or chief of police prior to the date of adoption of the foregoing resolution, which would have been authorized by foregoing resolutions, but the fact that such actions were taken prior to such date be and hereby is ratified, approved, confirmed, and adopted as duly authorized act of the town in all respects and purposes. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi,
Aye.
Councilman Abbott,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn.
Aye.
Okay. Well, Happy New Year to our town engineer, Mary Harrington. Is this, I think, yeah, the next item up is a resolution to abandon and reestablish a drainage easement within 662 Galleon Drive. And I think between Mary Harrington as our town engineer explaining, and also the gentleman here representing 662 Galleon, have at it.
Okay. Yes, so there is a drainage easement along the roadway on the property of 662 Galleon Drive. And because the stormwater pond on the property was constructed wider and shorter than it was designed, the easement doesn't really represent the area that the highway department needs to maintain both the waterway out front and the pond. So it's being adjusted to give the highway department the proper area to maintain. And also, it benefits the property owner to be able to develop the property and build out the last lot in this subdivision.
She said it great, huh? Okay.
And this is the same property that we looked at a few months ago on the fill permit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember you here when we didn't wear masks, I remember you. Well, unless the board has any comments or other questions, unless you have anything else to add besides what Town Engineer Harrington did.
No, I think we're all in the same agreement with our site engineer and what the town wants, so it's nothing debatable, it's just whatever we need to do.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Well, then I make a motion to abandon and reestablish a drainage easement within 662 Galleon Drive.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye?
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn,
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi,
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
I just want to add that the seeker on this is a negative type 2 ministerial.
Thank you.
And am I glad we have Bill here to make sure that we stay in this.
Supervisor, can I comment on this?
Please can.
All right, thank you. Just a couple things, because this is an alienation of a property right, there is a subject to a permissive referendum. We have to wait 30 days for this to go into effect. So, once that 30 days has passed, we can file whatever needed documents are. I will prepare the documents, Mr. McGinn, or Mr. McMinn? McMinn. So if you could stick around, it looks like the meeting's going fairly rapidly, so if you could stick around, I'll get some information from you and we'll, all right, thank you.
And you got both those bills about the seeker and then?
Yes.
Okay, great. The next one, I guess I drew the short straw because Art and Rick weren't able to make it tonight from the sewer department, but they prepped me to just give a quick explanation of the next item, and then I would ask that one of the other board members read and make the motion, because it does authorize the supervisor to sign this contract. But ALS is a laboratory service that does the testing at the sewer plant that's kind of commensurate with our Speedies permit with the DEC. I think back in 2016, the board did the same type of bidding to these agencies and awarded ALS because they were the low bid. That contract at that time is now run up, so we rebid it, and ALS once again was the low bidder.
It's quite a swing.
Isn't it though?
Yes.
Well, maybe that's the power of the incumbent. Because yeah, they certainly, and from what Rick, who's our chief plant operator and Art said, they do a great job.
Good.
So,
So I would move that the board authorize the execution of a wastewater treatment plant laboratory services contract, whereas a request for proposals was released, and whereas the following proposals were received: ALS Group, $8,185, Life Sciences, $11,521, and Paradigm, $18,397. Therefore, be it resolved that the Webster Town Board authorizes the town supervisor to execute a contract for wastewater treatment plant laboratory services as proposed by ALS Group USA Corp. In the amount of $8,185 per year for 2 years beginning January 1st, 2022, with the option of 2 one-year extensions.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Cataldi,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn,
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty.
aye. Okay, next item up, and I have to explain why I said Happy New Year to Town Engineer Mary Harrington, because when you came in, Mary, you said this is the first board meeting of the year you've been at.
Yes, it is.
So, we've missed you. So, you want to give a brief explanation? I think you're pinch hitting maybe for Pat Stevens from the Highway Department?
There he is, okay.
So hopefully I sound like I know what I'm talking about. So Highway Department is going to go out to bid for a mid-size excavator, a 32,000-pound excavator to replace their 2016 excavator. This piece of equipment is used primarily for drainage work, and it's very highly used, so they put a lot of hours on it. So this is kind of a proactive swap out of equipment so that they get a high resale value and keep maintenance costs low and it operating at peak performance.
And, by the way,
It
oh.
is included in 2000.
Part of the budget.
Yes.
Well, we might have a triumpher in here, because Bill, you are the liaison of the Highway Department, so anything else to add on that?
Nope.
Okay. All right, well then I make a motion to advertise and solicit bids for the new mid-size excavator for the town highway department and set advertisement to be published in the Wednesday, January 26, 2022 Webster Herald edition.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Okay. The next item, do the town board members have any comments or questions on these recycled items from the sewer department?
No.
I didn't think they would, so I make a motion to declare the following items for recycling from the sewer department. A Dell Precision M6800, a Dell Precision M90, tag number 3385, and a Brother Laser Fax G3.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
And Charlie, I don't want to assume anything, but we're not ready.
No, thank you. No, I've been in touch with Mr. Bertrand and Mrs. Jones, and we
Okay,
still need a little more work on this. Not much, but
okay,
I would ask that this be tabled again to the next meeting.
yes, and so I'm going to make a motion to table a resolution to accept the Penfield Sewer Bypass IMA terms and authorize the supervisor to sign that IMA.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye?
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our formal agenda tonight. We will leave the phone open for a few minutes. I think it's on here, Dolly, for anybody that wants to call in from home. Maybe somebody will call in and say that the new cameras, that we all look like movie stars, Charlie? No?
I should have powdered my.
Well, you know, I was gonna say. And we'll just kind of do a around the room. Mary? Anything to,
I would say that I am getting very excited about the Sandbar Park project. I'm pouring through the drawings this week, so it's definitely going to be a really nice project when it's done, and I'm looking forward to the improvements. And I will also note that I think I made a mistake on Tuesday, taking or was it Monday? When did we get the snow? Sunday
Monday.
night?
Monday, Sunday night to Monday.
Yeah, so I took 104 on Monday, and I think it was worse than the town roads. So I got to give a lot of credit to the highway department for all the snow clearing that they did. I have a new appreciation now that I'm interacting with that department a lot more. So I will know to avoid 104 on those heavy days and just take the town roads to get to work.
well, and would you mark down in the minutes that 9 months into Mary's career, she made a mistake? So let's make sure that we got that, all right, Dolly, for,
Minutes will reflect that.
yes, they will. Paul, are you gonna admit to any mistakes tonight, or?
No mistakes. Just thought I'd mention that the town has a number of comida and host community agreements with businesses throughout the town. And we bill those separately. Those bills went out about 10 days ago. So if you're a business that happens to have a question about the bill, feel free to give me a call. The payment should be directed toward the town clerk. Generally, we put a sticker on there instructing them with that. We forgot the sticker.
Oh, boy.
So they'll probably just send them to the town hall, possibly to the finance department. But if you're hearing me now, send them to the town clerk.
We've received 4, and they did come to my office.
Hey, all right.
So far.
Bill?
Well, we had quite a storm on Sunday night, Monday night. Highway Department did an excellent job keeping the roads clear, like they always do.
Right.
But that was a tough storm, a lot of snow at one time for them to have to move. So they did a great job. And the Parks and Rec did a great job in their area too, so kudos to both those departments.
We learned something about our sidewalks there.
That, I kind of thought with that amount of snow, they'd have trouble.
Yeah, and they did,
That machine's not really made for that much snow.
yeah.
But we'll move forward and figure out the best way to handle it.
Patty?
We should let everybody know that we did have our first meeting on restructuring the special police. We met on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday,
Yeah, Monday.
and we will be meeting again, so we are sticking to our promise of working on this.
Absolutely. Charlie?
I can just say, I give credit to the supervisor that we are moving along with the sandbar project. There are no further, at this point, legal impediments.
Charlie, I feel like in about a month, I'm gonna have your hairstyle. No, it's not at all, you know what? Yeah, see it? You know, no fuss, no muss, right? You get up in the morning, you're out.
I just want a free time for a week.
I'm gonna finish with you, Dolly, because obviously, well, Jenny?
Okay. Again, I'm honored to be here, and I just want to let you know that I thank you so much for all the department heads that I've been meeting so far, that helping me transition into my new position. And I deeply appreciate everything you have done, you know, information and everything. And also, too, I'm the liaisons for the Webster Town Clerk. You know, they do a wonderful job. And the Webster Public Library and the Webster Museum. And I met with Adam Traub with the Webster Public Library, and we have a great meeting, and they open me with, you know, open arms and warm welcomes, and I deeply appreciate that. And I met with Tom Paulette at the Webster Museum, and he showed me around, and I just want to let our community know that, you know, take advantage of our libraries and the museums in there, because it shows a lot of history of our communities, and it's a great resource for everybody. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jenny. And I can empathize with you, because 2 years ago, there's just a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn. So I applaud you for jumping feet first into it. Speaking of a lot to learn, Councilman Cahill,
That's not quite the lead in.
well, you've taught me a lot.
I think we both learned a lot this past year, especially with EMS, and you know, I just want to thank all our department heads, and especially our highway department for moving all the snow as effectively as they did this past weekend. Hoping we were going to get a break from the cold weather, but it's back. So one thing I did notice is make sure you're careful when you're in these parking lots, because there is ice everywhere. So please be careful out there.
And Dolly, you know, I got to finish with you, because this is your time of year.
We're very busy collecting taxes, and I just want residents to know that aren't aware of it, that the deadline to avoid any penalty or interest is February 10th.
Right. Well, geez, our new cameras, I mean, maybe we were so clear, nobody needs to call in, so unless anybody has anything else,
Where are the cameras? Are they all up there?
you're gonna have to check it, I mean, in Karen's
see 'em
production
now.
booth, they're
I don't have
crystal
glasses on, so I
clear.
have to have a mask on.
Right.
Oh,
You know what? Yeah. Can you tell they're new?
Did we get new mics also?
It does,
don't
it
think
seem
so.
like they're,
I
Yes.
use the term hot,
Karen would have to answer that.
or they've been adjusted somehow. They're great.
New, but I have to turn them up because of the masks.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Okay.
This on.
Then
You
we'll
know-
turn yours down.
Before I do the.
Hopefully February 1st, we're done
Thank
with
you.
this.
And you know what? Because we have a workshop next week, and in the absence of any other extensions, I think our first board meeting in February, it's very possible we'll be back to no mask, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm not
Should I
taking
not
a
hold
bet.
my breath?
I'm not betting on that at all.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This meeting is adjourned.